Alright guys, what's going on? I'm going to go ahead and start off with this. I apologize if you guys hear rain hitting the tin. I don't know if it's sleeting by now, but it's a bad winter storm coming through. But anyways, today we're going to be working on adjusting this wood carving knife. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. It's just an old rusty one my buddy has. And if you're wondering what that is, it's animal fat. My buddy's a trapper, and he wants me to adjust it into a skinning knife, I think is what I don't remember the actual term or what he's going to use it. I know what he's going to use it for. He's going to put the pelt down on the board, on the skinning board, and rub this down, scrape the fat off the pelt. But he needs me to straighten it out so he can use his flat edge better, and so it doesn't have that curve, so it doesn't bite into the fur. And I'm going to also take these handles and stick them straight out and maybe make the handles out of wood like this one is, but of course not use this because this is junk. Or I might just do an integral handle, but that's what we're going to be doing right now. Is I'm going to go ahead and just stick this side in the forge. It'll burn that wood off. We'll straighten these sides out, and then we'll worry about the center here. Yeah.
I'm Dad.
So far, it's going really simple, going really well. I thought it was going to be a lot harder, but I've only taken one heat per thing moved. Make sure it's not burning right quick. No, we're good. Okay, so turn this up actually. So I've got both handles straightened out. I'm not even in frame. Shit, dog. That's Ruger. But shush. I got both handles straightened out. I got the blade straightened out. Right now, the blade, whenever I put it in the vise, it took a bit of a bend downwards. So I've got to address that, and I'll do that right here. It took a bend, it even took a bend like this way too, so I gotta get that addressed as well. Alright, and now address the edge bending right here. Still bent. That looks pretty good to me. If y'all can see this very good, but it's straight besides the handle right here. The handle's a little crooked, but I'm not worried about it. But the blade is pretty straight, pretty good this way. It takes a little curve in, but I think I'll just grind that out. That'll be no problem at all. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat the handles back up, and I'll probably fold them over this way and round the tip off and fold them over this way. That way they're integral handles. And I think that'll be a lot easier and look nicer, other than putting
wood handles back on there. For one, I don't think I have the wood material to make another wood handle, but I think that's going to be our next step right now. My buddy's got a bit smaller hand than I have, so it should fit just perfect. It's a little small for my hand, but it feels really good in my hand. And sorry if the video just cut out there and I have to edit that out. My camera just died for some reason, I guess. So now I'm gonna move on to this side, but I'll probably do that tomorrow or some other day. Alright guys, so it's the next day, and well, I say next day, it's been 2 days, because I've been at my buddy's house for a little bit, having fun in the snow, and so last time we left off, I got the handle bent over. This side at least, I got the blade straightened out and I got this handle straightened out. So what I'm gonna do now is straighten this out, or not straighten, my bad. I'm gonna curve the handle to match this one, or get close to matching it. And then I'm going to, let's see, I'll probably take it to a wire brush on the grinder, clean it off, run it through some grits on the belt sander, just clean it up, sharpen it, and it's got a little bit of a divot right there, so I'll get the edge level, and I think that'll be all I need to do to it. Clean it up, sharpen it, and all that stuff, and yeah, I think that'll be it. Alright guys, so I had a bit of a change of plans. I was trying to do that curl tip right here on this side, and it got too thin and it broke off, so I straightened it back out, drew some more material out to get a better tip, the same amount of length, or close to it at least. And so I'm just gonna heat it back up again right here, and take my needle nose pliers here, and I'm just gonna heat this little area right here up and spin it downwards so it's got a nice curl to it. It'll help so this doesn't bend down too, because I'll put it right up against that spine. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna straighten it back out, straighten everything back out, draw a little bit more material out, because I think I have more over here than I do right here, and then I'm gonna do the exact same thing that I did, or that I'm gonna do over here as well. So that's what we're gonna be doing right now. So far, I can't get my whole self in the frame, but that's all right. So far I've gotten I got the blade straightened out. I've got the handles done. It feels like it's gonna be really comfortable, but now it's time to move on to. I'm gonna hit it with the wire brush a little bit, and then I'm going to take the belt grinder and flatten this out a little bit, give it a nice edge, clean it up, and then it'll be done. It's a fairly quick project, so yeah, I think it'll turn out just fine. Alright guys, so far I've roughly got it ground out. It's tricky. I've never ground anything like this before, so I'm just trying my best on this, and it ain't never gonna be perfect. So far I had to establish a flat on here because it was messed up from me tweaking the straightness of the blade, and I got that as good as I can get it. It's pretty straight. I got this ground out and kind of rounded off right there. So basically, I plan to keep the rough forged scale, or like the rough forged look to it whenever I get done with heat treating, because it'll give it a good look, and it saves time for me because I'm not gonna try to fight this because I've never done nothing like this and I don't want to mess it up. So whenever I get my heat treating done and everything, I'm gonna have to put a nice sharp edge on it, make it as sharp as I can get it, use the 400 grit belt to sharpen it up, and I'll take it to the stone. But right now we're gonna move on to the hardening process. I'll heat the blade up. I'm gonna run it through a thermal cycling, which is you heat it up to critical temperature, you let it cool down all the way. You do that, I'm gonna do that 3 times. Refines the grain structure a little bit, makes it stronger. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm going to, on the 4th one, I'm gonna heat it up, quench it in oil. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna quench it in oil because my quench tank is not big enough to fit this in there. And then after that, I'm gonna take it inside to the oven, put it in the oven for about 2 hours at probably 400 degrees. Bring that hardness down so it's not brittle hard. It's got a little bit of malleability to it, and then we'll be good. And of course, after the hardening, then we move on to the sharpening process, but we'll get to that. Alright guys, so far, I think I said this already, but I can't quite remember. Got this all ground down flat and everything, so it's not wavy like it was from straightening it out. Now I'm going to run it through thermal cycling. Thermal cycling, you bring it up to critical temperature and let it cool all the way back down to room temperature, and that refines the grain structure, which makes the metal stronger. So I might do this in a later video, or you can look it up if you're really that interested. So the way to check your grain structure is to heat up a piece of steel, harden it, and then break it. And then you look at a sheared piece of, you look at the crystallization in the metal. Right here, let me find it real quick. This is a knife that broke on me while I was forging it. I don't know if y'all can see that very well. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus in. Come on. You can't really see it that well, but right there, that's the crystallization, and the grain structure is really fine on this one. So with me heating this up and beating on it, it makes the grain structure really big and weak, and it's prone to cracking. So if you're frying the grain structure, it just makes it tougher. Just like if you work in wood, the grain structure really means everything. It makes it stronger. So I'm gonna do three cycles of this, and then we're gonna go in for the quench on the 4th. But the 4th is gonna be probably tomorrow or Tuesday, because I'm gonna have to build myself a different quench tank, because the one I have does not fit this. We're gonna put the spine in since it's got the brunt of the metal of the material. That way we can heat it up and it'll send the heat from the spine up into the edge, so you don't burn the edge off. Alright guys, so far I've done 2 thermal cycling cycles. The final one, I am going to let it soak. I turned the blower off and I let the fire cool down just a little bit, and I stuck it in there. I'm gonna let it cool down with the fire. I've seen people do this on YouTube and TV and stuff, so I figured I might as well try it and see how it turns out. Wish the camera would focus in just a little bit. Be great. There we go. Okay, so it's in there, right there, and I'll pull it out in the morning whenever everything's cooled down. Well, probably not in the morning because I got school, sadly, but I'll pull it out next time, and next time we'll heat it back up, quench it, and take it back to the grinder, to the belt grinder, and do the final touches on the edge and stuff. Clean it up in the spots where it needs it. It really doesn't need it much. Camera's still ain't focused. Okay. And take it to the sharpening stone, get it as sharp as we can get it, so hopefully we'll get it to where it can shave your hair off your arm pretty easily. And so yeah, this will be it's been a really fun project, really easy, but I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out. And yeah, I think since I don't have a quench tank big enough for it, I'm going to use this right here, this plate, and this old piece of fuel pipe. I'll clean them up a little bit and weld it on here and fill it up with oil, and use this as a quench tank because it fits perfectly. But I don't know if I'll include that in the video or not. I'll decide whenever I get to it. But I'd like to thank you all for joining me so far, and hope you guys like the end product that comes out.